Hi, it's Mary Daisy. It's a Sunday evening, and last night we talked about caregivers and how important they are. And when I started this vlog, it was to document the journey that I have taken over the last 50-some years with autoimmune disease. But I did not have a script or an outline or anything, and a lot of my vlogs that I've only been doing for a week, instead of following the order that I wanted them to follow, are influenced by what has happened to me that day. When we left the chronological order, I had said that the stress I can attribute with a diagnosis of everything I've been diagnosed with in autoimmune, tying that to what was happening in my life. And today was one of those days. It was a big stressor. And so another thing I think it's important for people to hear is that the people who go through all of these autoimmune challenges often feel utterly powerless as far as having any control over their life. When I told you after the first diagnosis with issues in my teens, then right after I got married, and then subsequently the diagnosis of PTSD, and then it was fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And then I said, we're going to skip ahead 5 years, but I need to talk about what happened during those 5 years. I did reveal that I had divorced, gotten remarried, and moved several times. But there was so much stress that the fibromyalgia and the chronic fatigue were so horrific that I could barely function. And when you can't function, when you're that degree of ill, you feel utterly powerless because you cannot physically do anything, and therefore other people are doing things for you and around you. And when you feel better for a day or two and you try to catch up or make sense of what other people have done or decisions that have been made without your knowledge, that just adds more stress. I always felt secure in my life until that time in my life. And as time went on, I was feeling less and less secure. And about 6 years ago, I have to go back again to I think a little further back, when I did get married for the second time. I married somebody that I worked with. And as a result, I lost my job. And what really devastated me is that my husband had said that if either of us got fired because we worked at the same company, we would both leave. And I believed that, and I thought it was the only fair decision. However, when it did happen, he decided he wasn't going to leave. I've told you in the past about the energy I feel from people, the things I know ahead of time before they even happen. And there have been times in my life where I've told people something and it always comes true. And most people, they just don't believe you. And what makes it especially stressful for me and takes such a physical toll is that I know I'm right, and I have to watch these people go through everything I told them would happen, and then I'm left impacted by it also. So, unfortunately, I had told my husband when he told me he was not going to leave, and I believe we were in our late 40s at the time, and he had stated that he didn't think it was going to be that easy for him to find another position. And at the time, he was the CFO of a very large insurance company in Chicago. And I tried to tell him that it was going to be a lot harder when he lost his job at a later date, because he'd be much older. And my husband is a person who believes in the good of people, and he finds it inconceivable that anyone would lie to him or be unethical or just treat him badly, because he treats everybody with respect and kindness. So I have told him when he had interviewed somebody for one of the departments that he was overseeing, that a particular person, he should not vote for that person to be hired, because just from meeting them, I could tell from their energy that they were going to be an issue and he would wind up getting hurt. But again, he couldn't believe something like that would happen. There was even somebody at the company who he had mentored and did so much for, and he always had this person's back. And they stabbed my husband in the back so egregiously that even his boss said to him, "Why haven't you fired this person?" But that's not him. He's kind. He's just a wonderful human being. And people take advantage of that. And so all of these things started adding up. And I was becoming even more ill. And that's all I'm going to say for today, because I don't want to do this too long at any one time, and I've had a really stressful day today. So I will hopefully be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and I hope this is helping some people. And I know I've heard back from a few, and thank you for your comments. And together, I think we can all help each other. Good night.